Okay, we're here at Starbucks on Mass Ave. It's between Harvard and Porter Square. I just ordered my mocha skinny latte here. And York and I are going to keep reading into the 6th part 1. This is Act 3, Scene 1. Flourish to King, Exeter, Gloucester, Winchester, Warwick, Somerset, Suffolk, Richard Plantagenet. Gloucester offers to put up a bill. Winchester snatches it, tears it. Comes thou with deep, premeditated lines. Comes me with deep, premeditated lines. With written pamphlets, studiously devised. Humphrey of Gloucester, if thou canst accuse or aught intendst to lay unto my charge, do it without invention, suddenly, as I with sudden and extemporal speech purpose to answer what thou canst object. Presumptuous priest, this place commands my patience, or thou shouldst find thou hast dishonored me. Think not, although in writing I preferred the manner of thy vile, outrageous crimes, that therefore I have forged, or am not able, verbatim to rehearse the method of my pen. No, prelate, such is thy audacious wickedness, thy lewd, pestiferous, and dissentious pranks, as very infants prattle of thy pride. Thou art a most pernicious usurer, froward by nature, enemy to peace, lascivious, wanton, more than well beseems a man of thy profession and degree. And for thy treachery, what's more manifest, in that thou laidst a trap to take my life, as well at London Bridge as at the Tower.
I want to throw these away, reuse them.
Thanks a lot. Besides, I fear me, if thy thoughts were sifted, the king thy sovereign is not quite exempt from envious malice of thy swelling heart. Gloucester, I do defy thee. Lords, vouchsafe to give me hearing what I shall reply. If I were covetous, ambitious, or perverse, as he will have me, how am I so poor? Or how hapset I seek not to advance or raise myself, but keep my want of cover? And for dissension, who prefereth peace more than I do, except I be provoked? No, my good lords, it is not that. It is not that offends. It is not that offends. It is not that hath incensed the Duke. It is because no one should sway but he. No one but he should be about the king, and that engenders thunder in his breast, and makes him roar these accusations forth. But he shall know I am as good as good. Thou bastard of a grandfather, I, lordly sir, for what are you, I pray, but one imperious in another's throne? Am I not protector, saucy priest? And am I not a prelate of the church? Yes, as an outlaw in a castle keeps, and useth it to patronage his theft. Unreverend Gloucester, thou art reverend, touching thy spiritual function, not thy life. Rome shall remedy this. Rome thither, then. My lord, it were your duty to forbear. I see the bishop be not overborne. Methinks my lord should be religious and know the office that belongs to such. Methinks his lordship should be humbler. It fitteth not a prelate so to plead. Yes, when his holy state is touched so near, state, holy or unhallowed, what of that? Is not his grace protector to the king? Plantagenet, I see, must hold his tongue. Lest it be said, speak, sirrah, when you should. Must your bold verdict enter talk with lords? Else would I have a fling at Winchester, uncles of Gloucester and of Winchester. The special watchman of our English weal, I would prevail, if prayers might prevail, to join your hearts in love and amity. But what a scandal is it to our crown that two such noble peers as ye should jar? Believe me, lords, my tender years can tell. Civil dissension is a viperous worm that gnaws the bowels of the commonwealth. The noise within, Gloucester's men shout, down with the tawny coats. What tumult's this? An uproar, I dare warrant, begun through malice of the bishop's men. The noise again. Gloucester's and Winchester's men shout, stones, stones. Enter Mayor. Oh, my good lords, and virtuous Henry, pity the city of London, pity us. The Bishop and the Duke of Gloucester's men, forbidden late to carry any weapon, have filled their pockets full of pebble stones, and banding themselves in contrary parts, do pelt so fast at one another's pate, that many have their giddy brains knocked out. Our windows are so broke down in every street, and we for fear compelled to shut our shops. Wow, that is like exactly what's happening in Greece right now. To serving men of Gloucester and Winchester in skirmish with bloody pigs, we charge you on allegiance to ourself to hold your slaughtering hands and keep the peace. Pray, Uncle Gloucester, mitigate the strife. Nay, if we be forbidden stones, we'll fall to it with our teeth. Do what ye dare, we are as resolute. Skirmish again. You of my household, leave this peevish broil and set this unaccustomed fight aside. My lord, we know your grace to be a man just and upright, and for your royal birth inferior to none but to his majesty. And ere that we will suffer such a prince, so kind a father of the commonweal, to be disgraced by an incorn mate, we and our wives and children all will fight, and have our bodies slaughtered by thy foes. Aye, and the very parings of our nails shall pitch a field when we are dead. They begin again. Stay, I say. And if you love me, as you say you do, let me persuade you to forbear a while. Oh, how this discord doth afflict my soul. Can you, my lord of Winchester, behold my sighs and tears, and will not once relent? Who should be pitiful if you be not? Or who should study to prefer a peace of holy church when take delight in broils? Yield, my lord protector, yield Winchester, except you mean with obstinate repulse to slay your sovereign and destroy the realm. You see what mischief and what murder do. Hath been enacted for your enmity. Then be at peace, except ye thirst for blood. He shall submit, or I will never yield. Compassion on the king commands me stoop. I would see his heart out ere the priest should ever get that privilege of it. Behold, my lord of Winchester, the duke hath banished moody, discontented fury, and by his smoothed brows it doth appear. Why look you still so stern and tragical? Here, Winchester, I offer you my hand. Fie, Uncle Buford, I have heard you preach that malice was a great and grievous sin, and will not you maintain the thing you teach, but prove a chief offender in the same? Sweet king, the bishop hath a kindly gird. For shame, my lord of Winchester, relent. What shall the child instruct you what to do? Well, Duke of Gloucester, I will yield to thee. Love for thy love, and hand for hand I give. Gives Gloucester's hand. Takes Gloucester's hand. Aye, but I fear me with a hollow heart. See here, my friends and loving countrymen. This token serveth for a flag of truce betwixt ourselves and all our followers. So help me God, and I dissemble not. So help me God, as I intend it not. O loving uncle, kind Duke of Gloucester, how joyful am I made by this contract. Away, my masters, trouble us no more, but join in friendship as your lords have done. Content, I'll to the surgeons, and so will I, and I will see what physic the tavern affords. Accept this scroll, most gracious sovereign, which in the right of Richard Plantagenet we do exhibit to your majesty. Well urged, my lord of Warwick, for sweet prince, and if your grace mark every circumstance, you have great reason to do Richard right, especially for those occasions at Eltham Place I told your majesty. And those occasions, uncle, were of force. Therefore, my loving lord, our pleasure is that Richard be restored to his blood. That Richard be restored to his blood. So shall his father's wrongs be recompensed. As will the rest, so willeth Winchester. If Richard will be true, not that alone, but all the whole inheritance I give that doth belong unto the house of York, from whence you spring by lineal descent. An humble servant vows obedience, and humble service till the point of death. Stoop then, and set your knee against my foot. And in reguerdon of that duty done, I girt thee with the valiant sword of York. Rise, Richard, like a true Plantagenet. Rise, created princely Duke of York. And so thrive Richard, as my foes may fall, and as my duty springs, so perish they that grudge one thought against your majesty. Welcome, High Prince, the mighty Duke of York. perish, base prince, ignoble Duke of York. Now will it best avail your majesty to cross the seas to be crowned in France? The presence of a king engenders love amongst his subjects and his loyal friends, as it disanimates his enemies. Disanimates. Check that out. When Gloucester says the word, King Henry goes, for friendly counsel cuts off many foes. Your ship already are in readiness. Senate, flourish, exunt all but Exeter. Aye, we march in England or in France, not seeing what is likely to ensue. This late dissension grows betwixt the peers, burns under feigned ashes of forged love, burns under feigned ashes of forged love, and will at last break out into a flame, as festered members rot but by degree, till bones and flesh and sinews fall away. So will this base and envious discord breed, and now I fear that fatal prophecy, which in the time of Henry, named the Fifth, was in the mouth of every sucking babe, that Henry born at Monmouth should win all, and Henry born at Windsor lose all, which is so plain that Exeter doth wish his days may finish ere that hapless time. By the way, during this scene, I've lost a couple people sitting around me. I fear that Yorick is pulling his faces again at people, and I don't know, we may be kicked out.